How to create a bouncing ball animation using Adobe Animate and exploring the concept of squash and stretch. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Adobe Animate and we're going to do File, New, Full HD, 24 frames per second, HTML5 canvas, create. Okay, so let's make it 25% because I will need to be able to see the entire canvas. I'm going to change the color and I'm going to use the shape tool. I'll use the rectangle tool and I'm going to create a background color. It's just going to fill the entire stage. And now I'm going to right click over that color and create a motion tween. So it says it can't be tweened unless you convert it to a symbol. Hit OK, and it's going to, if you look in the library, it converted it to a movie symbol, but I want to name the symbol because I'm going to forget. I'm going to have a lot of these movie symbols, and I'm going to forget which one is which. So I'm going to just call it background color. Okay, so there we go. And now I'm going to lock this layer, and before I lock it, I actually want to determine how long I want my movie to be. So this is where you're going to just, if you decide you're going to make a 10-second movie, then you put it on the 10. Let me just stretch it out. And now we have a 10-second movie. Now I'm going to lock this layer and I'm going to add another layer on top of it. And this layer, I'm going to change the color. And I'm going to use the oval tool. Now, if you hold the Alt key, the oval will start at the middle and spread out. And if you hold on a Mac, that will be the Option key. If you hold the Shift key, it will make a perfect circle and not just an oval. So that's what I'm going to do. There's my oval, except now it's a perfect circle because I held the Shift key. So it is a perfect circle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on that and create a motion tween. But now I've got a 10-second animation to work with. So I need to decide where I want this ball at 2 seconds. So I'm going to just grab my select tool, and at 2 seconds I want it to have bounced here. And now I've got to decide where I want it at 4 seconds. So at 4 seconds, I want it to have bounced up to here. And you can see how the path is determined. Now I'm just going to pull this down a little bit. Yeah, okay. So now where do I want it to be at 6 seconds? So I can actually very accurately curate the motion path of my ball. So at 6 seconds, I want it down here. And then where do I want it at 8 seconds? I want it up here. And at 10 seconds, I want it to have bounced off the page here. So now I can go back and I can tweak my motion path a little bit, make it more of an arc. So I'm going to do that. More like the arc of a bouncing ball. And if I go to my library, it's called Symbol 1, but I'm going to change it to Yellow Bouncing Ball. Because I might want to add other things into this, and I'm not going to remember what symbol is which. So let me just close this up, and now I want to add squash and stretch to my yellow bouncing ball. So let me start at the beginning, and when it gets to about here, it should squash. So I'm going to, first of all, I'll rotate it a little so that it's along the path. I'm going to squish it in, and if I squish it in, it has to also be a little longer. The narrower it gets, the longer it gets. So what happens when it gets about to here is it's going to hit the bottom. And when that happens, I want it to squish against the bottom. So let me just squish it, and it's going to flatten. It will also get longer. So now this is what I have so far. So I start out with this ball, it squishes, and then I don't want it to bounce up like that. When it starts to bounce up, it's going to have to follow the path, and it will have to compress a little and get fatter. Okay, so now it's going to go along here, and I think when it gets here, it's going to kind of compress and get a little fatter. And when it gets here, it will turn into more of a ball. And let's see, when it gets to here, it should be just about its normal shape. There we go. And as it goes down here, as it continues down, I think it'll get thinner and longer. Okay. There we go. And it's going to land here, and when it does, it has to squish against the ground. The pancake down. Okay. And now it's going to go up here. Let's see, it should become more of a ball gradually. When it reaches the peak, it should be its old shape. And as it starts to go down, it'll squish again right off the page. So let's see how our squash and stretch looks, how convincing it looks now that I'm done. Oop. Oop. I'm not really loving it, so let me go back. And let me just, instead of playing it, I'm just going to drag it through. Here, I'm not liking that. It should angle down more. I have to more fine tune it. Okay. Got to make this impact with the ground, at which point it then squishes to the ground. And now it goes up. It gets its shape again. That part's fine. This part's fine. This is where I don't like it. It's kind of veering off the path. It should continue on the path. No, I don't like that. Let me just keep it on the path. It hits, and that's where it squishes. And then it goes up again. Okay, I think this is now better. So let's go to the beginning, and let's see if it's convincing as a bouncing ball. All right. So not bad at all. About a 10-second animation. And now file. Well, first of all, file save as bouncing ball. Okay. And now file export video. And hopefully I will see it in my documents. Let's see. Downloads? Not sure. Desktop. There we go, bouncing ball. I'm not thrilled with it. I feel like the place where it impacts, it doesn't quite convince me. So, let's see. Let me go back. That looks like a squish to me. All right, maybe that's a little more convincing. Let's see. Let me hit play. All right, so I've tweaked it enough, and now I'm going to export it again. First of all, File, Save, File, Export. Export video, export. And it should go to the media encoder, which will take a second. And it will, you'll see it encoding here in a second. All right, so now it should be in my documents. And let's see if this is an improvement. Yeah, I really feel like this is stretching out and squashing. Okay, and that's how you would do squash and stretch in Adobe Animate.